And I began to realize as I began to think about this new wine and new wineskins is that, if there's one thing Jesus was as he walked this earth, he was out of the box. He was so, different. He was a fresh wind of change. He was something new and unique, and he was something different. He wasn't the same customary form of religion or religious thought. What he brought was refreshing and liberating. It was different, and yet it was that which made one long for the things of God even more. As much as he was different and fresh and new, it created a desire. It kind of was one of those things that made you say, I want what he's offering. I want what he has. And so he was intriguing to some, and for others, he was far too radical. And change is like that. Change can be refreshing to some while threatening to others. It can offer the much needed spark to one person and cause great discomfort to another. Yet when you study the scriptures and the actions of Jesus, it seems everything he did, everything Jesus did, was rooted in change. The old system no longer worked. The tradition, rituals, and endeared customs were ineffective in meeting people's needs. And the way of their fathers no longer drew people into a relationship with God. And what they were living was a stale, stagnated religious life based on long-held ineffective beliefs rooted in man-made laws that just could not be kept. And so out of that kind of man-made and forced kind of religion, they were trying to serve God. And the truth is, it was killing them. It was just getting to the point where the place of really being righteous and holy could not be attained because of the laws and the baggage that seemed to come with it. And what happened when Jesus came was he came to introduce change. The kind of change that would bring life into their spiritual experience, that all of a sudden would make that spiritual experience come alive. The kind of change that would attract the sinner. The kind of change that would bring God into their living rooms and out of their kind of just their ivory temple, so to speak. And so Jesus began to introduce change, but as is the case every time change is introduced, crowds of people met this change with resistance. And it was here that Jesus began to introduce a concept separating those who wanted a fresh new relationship with God from those who wanted religion simply for religion's sake. He's saying, listen, if you want your traditions and you want religion just for the sake of wanting religion, if you want to follow your customs and do your thing, then that's one thing. But I'm bringing a sense of change to those who want to really know God, who want a fresh, new relationship with God. And so Jesus began to speak about it in times of new wine for new wineskins. And he began to seek individuals who wanted to really know God and not just know about God. He wanted to find individuals who wanted a relationship with Christ and with God, and not just to kind of have all the do's and don'ts about God. And he began to look for individuals in whom his spirit could dwell, people who sought new life, people who sought a victorious life and an abundant life. And in those, he would do an amazing work, while those who were stuck in their traditions would be left behind and miss God's day of visitation. He's saying, if you want to move in a course of change, if you want change, then I'll bring to you life, victorious life, abundant life. I'll bring to you something that's new and fresh where you can connect with God. But if you want religion just for the sake of religion, you're going to miss the day of God's visitation. And so it was a pivotal turning point for people. And basically, it was dividing people into two groups: those willing to embrace change and those stuck in tradition. And Jesus was saying, listen, I am that pivotal point. And I don't know about you, but as I look at this, I realize that we need to be among the crowds who say, God, we want to move with you. We want your visitation. We want whatever you are offering our generation. Don't let your spirit pass us by. Help us not to be stuck in our old ways, that we miss what you are doing today. God, let the newness of the Spirit and the newness of your workings be alive in us. And as I said, Jesus introduced it as new wine for new wineskins.